Oh, well, shit.
I don't know if audio was muted for you. It doesn't matter. I don't think anyone's here. It's fine. No one saw it. No one saw it.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. Hi, we're back.
Oh, see it
We're
on the
back
VOD
again.
later.
We're back. We're at it again. Yeah, we're gonna play some Yakuza tonight. We were gonna play Borderlands, but Ark had a rough day. So we're gonna play some Yakuza instead.
Because we didn't play Yakuza this week.
No, we didn't, because Halloween fell on Thursday, so we played spooky games.
Yeah. Specifically, we played Monster Prom, which is the opposite of spooky, but still really good.
It's spooky adjacent. They were monsters.
Yes. There were monsters. We definitely were not afraid of them.
No, I wasn't. I wanted to fuck them, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean, but that's pretty normal most of the time.
Welcome in. Hi. We're gonna get started here in just a second. I just gotta open up the game.
And share it with me.
Yes, and everybody hope and pray that the controller is good tonight. The controller behaves.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's kind of a mystery. Sometimes it's a bit of a gamble. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We're gonna find out.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Shameless plug, there is a wired controller on my throne to prevent this from happening in the future.
Someone buy it for her, please.
My birthday is coming up though, so maybe, maybe someone will snag it. Oh, controller, please work. Oh yes, it was getting me though. It was blinking, like the game started up and it was just blinking, and I was so scared. What? Oh, I have to switch to. I'm like, where's the game audio? Oh yeah, I gotta switch screens. Astroth, hi, welcome in. That's the tree, nice. Yeah, don't forget to get your gemstone. You get one every stream. Y'all like the avatar, the outfit I put on?
Ooh, it's nice.
The titties are out, my guy.
The titties are out.
Yeah, Magic pointed me in the direction of the corset. I couldn't figure out how to get rid of the bra, like the underwear. So I just changed the color, and I was like, we're just gonna make it work. I don't know what I'm doing. I really didn't know what I was doing. I was just doing my best. No Borderlands, because there's no Arcnon.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Arcnon
we can't do it without all the homies here, Astra.
Yeah, we have to have all the homies present.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had a rough day, so no Borderlands.
Yeah.
We're gonna play this instead. My controller. My little hand asset controller. It doesn't really work anymore.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
I'm gonna have to play with that. Womp womp. Oh well. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's not fine.
It's not fine. I'm not okay.
It's never fine.
Alright.
We're never okay. Ooh, golden poop.
Golden poop!
Yeah, I'm still playing Cult of the Lamb.
I was like, where's the poop? Where's the poops?
Yeah, sometimes my followers will poop out golden poops.
Ooh. You can't fuck with death here.
Yeah, no, you can't, Sanity. You can't bully me anymore. So sad for you.
So sad. Too bad, so sad. I am, Alright. I'm gonna continue. Click here. You could.
Yeah, you could just emotionally bully me, I guess.
There's only one way in Yakuza that I know we could bully death.
Don't give him fucking ideas. Give him fuck. He doesn't need sanity. Doesn't need fucking ideas.
I am trying to remember what we were doing. And I was
also
like,
need you to share the game with me still.
yes. Okay, hold on. I'll pull up. No. No. What? What?
What?
I cannot stream to you.
No, you're not.
I can't.
Oh, you can't?
No, it says I have to have Nitro. When was that a thing? No way. I don't need it to be in 4K. I just need it to be streamed. I'm so confused. What happened? Yeah, I don't care if it's just 720. Where's the going live button?
When was that a thing?
Yeah, apparently there is. There's a 60 frame rate and you can This is really strange. Because I'm selecting 720. It does not need to be... It's... What? Hold on. Maybe... Is it because it's minimized? Is it hiding the button? It was hiding the button.
Son of a bitch.
I minimized it a little bit. Because I want to keep an eye in case Arc messages back as well. But... Apparently it hid the, It hid the stupid stream. The going live thingy. That's weird. It wouldn't let me scroll either. I was trying to scroll. It scared me. I was like, when was that ever a thing? Alright.
Oh, that about made me have a fucking panic attack.
Yeah, me too. If they ever get rid... Like, bro, it does not have to be, like, no 4K bullshit. It just... You just need to know what I'm doing.
Yeah. I just need to be able to see it in real time without the delay. That's it. That's all I friggin' need.
Alright. So, our objective is over here. But I thought we were in the middle of, like, a little side quest thing, and I just don't remember what it was.
Check your side stories.
I don't remember where that
Completion list. Side stories. And Majima. Or no, actually, there should be another. It's not in the completion list, sorry. Go back to the main menu. Sub stories. There you go. Majima.
Okay.
Now switch over to Majima's. There you go.
Yeah, it was this one.
Oh yeah, I know where that is. If you want to do it, or if you want to continue the story, that's up to you.
I was kind of taking everything on as it came to me. Bro, you ain't giving you nothing. But I was taking on all the little subquests, like, as I could.
Okay.
And then, okay, here's how I was doing it. I was taking something on, I was going to complete it, and then I was going to go back to the main story. But what ended up happening is every time we went somewhere, we opened another sub-story.
Yeah.
Drink water, you dehydrated
Sorry, just
bitch.
finishing up a quest where I fed a follower poop.
That's fine. I need to hydrate.
That's not fine. That's horrifying.
Oh, my cummies are so small. They need to be bigger. I need a big box of cummies.
I'm sorry, what?
Big old box of cummies.
No.
Wait, what's wrong?
No.
What's wrong with Dad?
No!
Is it too big? Is it too big? Is it making you feel self-conscious?
At the very least, you aren't putting it on my fucking head.
I moved it! I moved it. I only put you there so I could put the other drink on top of you, but we're done with that now, so...
If you put that thing on my head, I swear to God.
No, I put the cummies back to where they were supposed to be, and I put you back where you were supposed to be. And now that you moved over, people can actually see my corset now, too.
Yeah.
And how big my fucking boobs are.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed that V-Roy doesn't have that many bones in the boobs. I want him to jiggle more than that.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
They need to jiggle like anime titties.
Right, that's all I want. It's all I want out of life. But... So me and Joe found the new 7-Up today. We found the Shirley Temple 7-Up.
Ooh.
And they do have a 0 sugar variation.
Okay.
Which I need because the pre-diabetes, bro.
Yee.
Alright, so where do I go for the lock?
You'll want to bring up the map.
The pre-diabetes. The before you get full-on diabetes.
You see that exclamation mark there?
Oh, over. Whoops.
Yeah. Yeah, you zoomed out too far. There you go.
There.
That's where you want to head.
Oh, I can just turn here and... Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it's just on the other side of the park.
Wait, did I
Too
walk?
far.
Yeah, I realized it. No, leave him alone, you pieces of shit.
Also, I saw Mr. Shakedown over there, so good thing he picking a fight with these guys. Yeah, I saw the money pop up and was like, oh, fuck.
Oh, no. Why is he here?
He will always be gunning for you. That's the thing. He can pop up from anywhere.
That's not fair.
Snap.
Oh, that way,
Yeah.
buddy.
Again, tell me that fucker
Hi,
ain't dead.
Nyx. I'm wearing normal.
Hi,
I'm
Nyx.
not wearing the Halloween costume anymore. Got a
Thanks, dog.
Swiss watch.
Fuck yeah.
Oh my god! A 7-stream streak? That's amazing. Mmm, amethyst, so tasty.
Nope, not that way. There you go.
And an amber. Alright, this was
Okay,
it,
you
right?
good go now. Now you talk forever on payphone for free. Great, thanks. See ya. Happy do business with you.
And a
Bye-bye.
jasper. Everybody's getting a little bit of everything. I don't even know what I got. It wasn't a diamond and it wasn't a rock. That's all I care about. Hey, it's your sister's name. Nice. Ew.
Huh? Ah, my cards go all over. I dumped a butt. Fine. Guess I should lend him a hand.
Your sister's poopy. I'm sorry. It'd be like that sometimes. Evil. Well, we must have vanished.
Oh, no.
We must banish the evil.
No touch the merchandise. Huh? I'm doing you a favor picking up your cards. Ain't no call for that attitude, friend.
Right. We didn't have to be that nice. We could have just walked away. We could have kicked your cards. We could have been a total asshole.
Ah, thank you, but no look too closely.
Don't look too closely. Pokes of death.
Why not?
Touching.
Sanity has been pushing my buttons all day.
I didn't know skeletons came with buttons.
We have them, and one of them is the nuke the planet button.
Ah, the big red button.
Yeah, no, it's not that. Don't press that one.
Oh, what does that one do?
You don't need to know.
Oh, well, now I want to push it. You can't tell me not to push the big red button.
Oh, press it.
I'm gonna press it. I'm gonna press it.
You'll regret it.
I'll regret it. What are you gonna do? Fart on me? Like...
Don't press it.
It can't be that bad.
Don't press it.
No, wait, you won't. Yay, you're back in the States. I'm glad you're home. I hope you had a good time in the Japans. No looking.
Oh, no looking.
No
look, please.
No touch, no look.
Wait. What's with these phones cards? They got a strip of paper over the phone. Oh.
Had a great time, I'm happy.
They're bogus.
Look at it, it's born. Huh?
Huh? Sorry, my hearing not good. What? I said these cards are bogus, aren't they? Huh? Japanese very hard to understand. Sorry, not get what you saying.
Oh, God.
Seriously? The phone cards are bogus, huh? Oh, no. Sorry. Oh, no. I'm sorry.
You got called out, con man.
Nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. It's all over. Oh, no.
Over.
No. It's all over for me. No.
How is it over? Like, bro, if you didn't say anything, we probably just would have went about our own business.
Yeah. But you just calm down. Oh, no. I mean, yes. Oh, please, you'll not tell anyone. If anyone find out, very bad trouble. Japanese mafia cut off my wing. I know, we make deal. I'm pro forger. I make one fake thing for you. You not tell anybody. Good deal for you.
What?
I mean, we were all looking for a forged necklace.
Yes, we were.
Appreciate it. We can't think of any fakes I'd want.
Majima, please.
Wait, wasn't there a
Use your
fella
brain.
wanting a fake heart necklace for his gal?
Go your boy, buddy.
Yeah, we can hook him up with this guy.
Yeah. It's a great business deal.
Yeah, we can hook him up with this guy so he can dump his materialistic girlfriend.
Ah, you made the joke already. Great minds think alike, though.
Yeah. Hey, I might have something for you. You got a minute? I need you to date this loser. Oh, me make whole fake relationship. I can do that.
Oh my god, no.
Of course. What kind of fake you want?
What kind of fake you want, Death? What kind of fake?
What
kind of fake
a
you
sense
want?
of happiness.
A fake
Financial
happiness? Fake
financial
stability. Oh my god.
Yeah. So there you have it. I think it's called Destiny. Can you make a heart necklace for that fella? Be yourself easy cake. I take care of it. No problem. Top quality forgery I make for you. And then pansy-ass boyfriend give to girlfriend. So she continue to like him.
I skip it. It was an accident.
Tell your friend come to my office. I tell workers so they look after him.
Fake will to live.
Yeah, fake will to live. Jesus. Can you forge a will for me to continue living, please? My name's Fawn-san. Nice to meet you.
Hello, Cat.
Hi, Cat.
Cat was.
How's Ishin?
Cat was playing more. Was he playing Yakuza earlier? Just a different flavor.
Yeah, different flavor of Yakuza, where you get swords and a gun.
What?
Different sexy flavor. Oh yeah.
Oh.
And where you fight naked in the bath with another muscle-bound man.
What? What?
And you both grab each other while you're super sweaty and with your rippling muscles.
Oh, which you did today. Oh my. Oh my.
Yeah.
That's spicy.
Oh yeah.
I can understand why it's rated M for mature now.
Maybe I should have gotten you that one instead.
Oh. Wait, why are you trying to appeal to me that way? You trying to say I need to be horny on stream? I thought I was horny enough on stream.
I mean, you sound like you'd like it.
I mean, I like this. I feel like all of them are pretty good then, right?
Yeah, all of them are pretty good. And honestly, all of them have that appeal.
You have to find him and nom on him. Like, nibble his ear, nibble his neck.
Oh, you'll find him. You'll find him. And immediately when you find Majima, of course, he immediately has surprise fight sex with Kiryu.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Because no matter what person he is, he's still Majima.
Nom, nom, nom. We haven't had about 30 seconds.
My name's Majima. Okay, but you'll no forget no talking about my telephone cards
Fight
anywhere,
sex.
please. Triad boss prefer dead forger to famous forger, you know?
Oh.
Oh, okay. Is that right? Forging stuff is a tough gig. Okay. Your secret's safe with me. I don't think Majima gives a fuck.
I don't think he cares now.
Okay, I'll go back to office now. I love how I've been doing a Tommy Wiseau voice this entire time.
Oh, you're doing a great job.
Well, I'll be. I found a forger. Man, what a wacky coincidence.
What shenanigans?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of funny how convenient everything is in this game.
Yeah, like especially with the side quests are literally that hilariously convenient.
Do, 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 do.
Nope, not that way.
Damn it.
Forward. Right. Keep going.
Keep going.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's that exclamation mark.
Yeah, I see it. We have an ad now. Here's the ad. It never fails to make everybody hate it. Nobody likes the ads. Hi, baby. No, don't you be doing your shenanigans either, Miss Ma'am.
They're gonna do the shenanigans.
Bane, go get in the window. Go get in the window. Lady.
Oh.
Lady, I'm not into you. I'm into him. Bane. Bane, mama, we can't see through muddy water.
What am I gonna do? My penis is too small. I need to compensate with my wallet.
Is a cooking mama like game?
I feel like that's the whole relationship here.
He's compensating for something. Hype! Hype is here. We have to get hype now.
Oh yeah. There's a cooking mama like mini game in Ishin, where you cook food for your adoptive niece for, with food you grow in your garden.
Blaine, you good girl.
Oh yeah, and chickens.
Chickens!
Yeah.
Chickens. Guys, want some chickens? Want some chicken scripts?
Still no closer to a solution, huh?
What kind of names do you want to give your chickens? Anytime I play like a farming sim, I name them after chicken sounds.
I name all of my chickens after penis metaphors.
Oh my god. Last time I named them after egg-based foods.
Mm.
Like fried, Benedict, scrambled, poached.
That's kind of fucked up.
A little bit, yeah. It's no different
It's
than naming
all-
your pigs bacon and pork chop.
Yeah. Or you could just cut out the middleman and name one of the chickens just fried chicken.
Fried.
Or, no, name them Karage. Really confuse the fuck out of them.
Guromi? What is me? What is me?
This one is death. This one is rice.
Rice?
Chicken's name rice.
Because rice,
eggs over rice is good?
Omni rice.
Yeah.
I want some of that. I want some of that so bad.
These are twin chickens. That one's name is Amu, and that one's name is Rice.
Chicken rice. Chicken and rice. Yes.
Oh, no.
Delicious.
No, look at all. I suppose you couldn't get any leads on a forger either.
Waffle.
Actually, I conveniently bumped into one.
Chicken and waffles, Dad. That's cute. Chicken and waffles.
You know what? Funny enough, even though I live where I live in like a very like country-ass state, I've never had chicken and waffles.
I was still kind of upset what Mila showed me. I can't get over it.
What was it?
My guy, you don't want to see it. It was bad.
I'll take your word for it.
Bad.
Yeah, no, Cat. I've never had chicken and waffles.
What about biscuits and gravy?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, that's one of my favorites. I fucking love
I'm not a
some biscuits.
complete heathen.
Okay. To be fair, chicken and waffles is pretty... It's pretty rich.
Yeah.
It was bad. Astaroth can tell you all about it. He was there. He was there with me.
Part of me is morbidly curious, but then the other part of my brain is like, don't ask for it, god damn it.
We've seen war.
Yeah.
We've seen war.
I've seen war, famines, and plagues,
The PTSD
but I've never seen
is
anything more
coming
fucking
over
disturbing
us.
than that.
It was weird.
Oh, and this chicken is called Meth.
Oh,
Don't go near him wearing
there's
red.
always
He
one.
will try to kill you.
There's always one little weirdo.
Yeah.
Alright, we got the forger. We got the necklace. Is this it? Is
Yeah.
this the end?
Oh no, there's more.
Why?
We haven't punched anyone in the face yet, Trix.
Oh, you're right.
You think this could end without violence?
we had a mean ass rooster when I was a kid too. His name was Henry. He attacked the shit out of my sister. Fucked her leg up real good.
Why don't you just kick the fucking thing?
Well, when you're 7 or 5, I can't quite remember how old we were.
Okay. Okay, I was about to say, like, did this happen when you were like a teenager?
Oh
or
no,
something?
we were little kids. I don't even know she
Okay.
remembers. I don't even know she remembers that we used to have a chicken coop on the side of the property where she lives now. I don't even know if she remembers that.
What is it?
This was before my mom started hoarding dogs too. Like, it was a long time ago. She may have actually been younger than that.
That's a forger card. Oh, no, go on.
Yeah, so I barely remember, so I was really young.
Oh, okay.
Prince! But when the pen got attacked by Cody's, Prince took, god damn. Yeah, that's like the one, so the reason why some of them are so violent like that is they're really anal about protecting the hens.
Oh, okay.
They're really good to have around for like predators, but when you got kids, it's a different story. Oh my god.
Okay.
But then
It
Prince
left,
died a
was
couple of
dead
days
later,
later.
and then
Aw.
Prince probably died to
Yeah.
his wounds after
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Show him the card, tell him you know me, and he ought to make you a top quality fake of your heart necklace. You're not pulling my leg, are you?
What are
Oh,
your
God.
options here, dude?
Thank God! You saved my relationship! Now I can continue to go into debt for this woman!
Yeah, this relationship is
Yeah.
it's very toxic.
Yeah. Like, dude, she seems very materialistic. Maybe you should, like, I don't know, fucking
Right.
stop.
I knew you were special. I'm starting to think he might be falling for you. He's in Valhalla. He's in Valhalla. Yes, he died a warrior.
Yeah.
He's just
There's a
random
random-ass rooster drinking mead.
Yeah. Get it, Prince. Get it.
Honestly, Thor and Odin would be impressed. They'd see his final moments and they'd be like,
Battle chicken.
goddamn. Yeah,
Battle
goddamn. Someone get that rooster another pint.
Get you a battle chicken.
Mhm.
Bitches love battle chickens. Just about as much as they love cannons.
Yeah.
Who want a cannon with a battle chicken in it?
Yeah. Bitches love cannons. Oh, fuck, that's an anti-tank rifle. Oh, fuck, that's an anti-tank rifle!
Is this dinner? No, this
Yeah.
is a great warrior. General Prince Chicken.
Yeah.
I love him.
Nah, ain't nobody special. Just got lucky. Would you like to get lucky with me?
Right?
May I ask your name? I mean, we already had that other girl's dad hit on us.
Right. I'm not surprised anymore. I kind of anticipate everybody to fucking hit on you now.
Majima. Thank you very much, Majima-san. I'm sorry, but I'm running out of time. I'll go see him right away.
Right away. Right away.
Oh, yeah. I don't think this will end badly. You do that. Just remember, forgers work on the wrong side of the law. You mind your manners or you might get hurt.
That's right. Be polite.
I will. Thank you again.
I'll be a good boy, I promise.
If I'm a good boy, will you give me head pats? Fossa and the forger seem like a good sport, but the fellow's just a normal guy. Who knows what could go wrong? Maybe I'll go check on him when I got a minute. Oh, look at that, a minute! I need to go check on him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Why won't you love me like you love fuck fighting Kiryu? Why?
Wrong way. We're going down to the same place.
Oh my god, are you serious?
Yes!
Man, I'm not gonna remember where to turn though. I'm dumb.
I'll tell you.
The save point? Yeah, I see that.
Yeah,
I see
left.
That,
Yeah, left there.
He's trapped on a pile
my
of
fucking way.
garbage. Fuck off!
Fly off! No. Other side.
Eee. There we go.
Fossa on the forger's office was around here somewhere. Someone please help!
Oh, is he fondling his
cut off
tomatoes?
my tiny wang! What was that? Sounds like Loverboy's in trouble. See, I told you, we hadn't punched anyone yet.
Are we gonna have to punch the old forger guy? Oh my god, dude!
Please! No, like, he forgot to tell his men we were coming by.
Oh.
Please let me go! Cannot do. You tell me real reason why you come here. Wrong answer. Finger go. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, finger.
Then we do your wang! Please stop! I'm not lying! I only want a necklace! I was given that card and told to come here! Cannot be true. This place top secret. Normal necklace buyer cannot find. But I'm telling the truth. Help me!
Help me!
Looks like things went sideways.
You don't say, Majima.
Yeah, who
Don't
fucking
say.
saw that coming? Hey, he's done nothing wrong. Let him go, will ya? What?
What?
Majima-san, my hero. Who are you? Ah, you are partner of this guy. You spy on our business. We cut off Wang.
Whoa!
Hold on, one of your guys told me about this office. Yeah, you keep clicking away for stuff.
Wow.
No one here sell out. No traitor here. You dishonor us. You die now.
You die now. Goodbye, Rip. Beat these Chinese men.
Ah, yes, but have you considered? Punch! Oh, fuck. Yo, I think we collapsed a lung.
Oh, yo, who brought a knife to a...
Yeah, but you have a weapon too.
I do.
Yeah.
It's called my leg.
Whoa! Nice counter. I never saw that one before. Haha, now I have weapon. Trix, did you forget how to style switch?
Yes.
It's the D-pad.
Oh, okay.
How come so strong? If you just give me a chance to explain myself. What's going on here? Boys, what happened?
Bless.
Oh, boss. What happened here? Explain. Boss, these guys, they say someone tell them about office. They just come in here. I love how they're moving at exactly the same time. Huh?
Why
These
does
guys?
Majima look so tired like me? I haven't let him go to bed yet.
Yeah. Yeah, Trix doesn't let him sleep.
No. He keeps saying he's tired, but that's too
Yeah.
bad. It's too bad.
Huh? These guys? Oh. Oh, shit. Me forgot to tell. Boss, no one tells
Whoopsies.
secret office location. We no tell anyone, never. These guys lying. About that. Hey, old guy, care to explain? Boss-san forgot to tell boys here you coming. Oh, come on!
Bro. Bruh. Why are they like this? Like, why are these people like this? Yo.
So then I give business card to shut him up about fake phone card. Oh, that's what happened. Very sorry, Majima-san. Yeah, you fucking should. Nothing.
Idiot.
Majima! Give a shit,
Idiots.
goddammit!
He gives no
Nothing
fucks.
to-
He gives
Yeah.
no fucks, no clucks.
Majima gives no fucks.
None. Zero.
Nothing to forgive. Ah, very good. Everyone, all friends. Happy ending. Good, good, good. Says the guy who shit the bed in the first place.
Good for him.
So we make copy of Destiny Heart Necklace. That all? Yeah, can you do it? No problem. We copy weapons. Harder things. Necklace is easy. No worry, we do good job. Top quality.
Yay!
Good
I
news,
guess.
eh? Yay! Thank you so much. Okay, we make right away. No watch us work, though. You go outside a little, okay? Alright.
Alright.
Like, we perform some dark magic ritual in there.
Right, I'm just
fucking
gonna stare
jump.
over their shoulder like, what you doing?
It's like, oh, nothing. Ignore blood sacrifice altar. Okay, it's finished. Excellent quality. He gives us something made of fucking, like,
Wow.
macaroni art.
Macaroni art, no! You're like, oh.
Well, this is damn good work.
Good.
Yes, I make it out of tinsel and macaroni. How the fuck did you do that?
It's all the blood sacrifices.
Yeah. Wow, it's exactly like the real thing. Well, I'm sure my girlfriend will be delighted.
Why is there a dark sacrifice altar? Well, we need an explanation for this guy's skills.
Yeah.
Because he's a total idiot.
Okay, here you go. Now promise to Majima-san is done. We never talk again. Yeah, we're square.
Yep. Bye. Forever.
Yeah, bye. Hope I never see you again, asshole. Phew, what a huge release. Thanks to everybody's help, I can fulfill my promise to my girlfriend. I made it just in time for her birthday. Like, he gets a call on his cell phone. He's like, babe, I don't want that fucking necklace anymore. God, it's so stupid. I hate it.
Okay, lumpy space princess. Calm down.
Good, get going then.
Hi.
Oh, bye.
That's the only Valley Girl voice I could do, is like a lumpy space princess voice.
It's a good one. Alright, get out of here, scamp.
Guess that'll do it then. Still, that necklace. Even a woman's not gonna know it's a fake. No problem. I'm sure no one can tell it not real. Secret safe forever. He can lie to girlfriend, like she lie how she not have side piece.
Like she's okay with his small pee-pee.
Yeah. Okay, hope you're right. Fasan says it's okay, but he blows smoke too. Guess I ought to see how fucking goddamn it.
Yo, this nosy motherfucker. Just go on your way.
Yeah, you solved the problem. Congratulations.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye, Majima-san. Me not see you
Bye-bye.
again ever.
Forever. Goodbye.
Drink water, you dehydrated bitch.
Water. Drink water. I have to drink water. My giant gummy box.
Majima, I give no fucks. Also, Majima, I should go stick my nose in this thing.
For real. Yum. Okay. Give me a second. I'm gonna message Arc back real quick.
Okay.
Alright.
Oh, there's our lover boy. Is he really gonna get away with passing a fake necklace to this gal? Happy birthday! Here's your present like I promised. It's a heart necklace from Destiny.
Oh yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you think?
I was just waiting. I was like, you're gonna pull out the super femme voice any second now. Wow,
Nope.
really? I can't believe it. It's so adorable. It's crazy popular now, though. It must have been hard to get. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was really challenging to get. I almost died.
I have to admit, I was worried. Stores can't keep it in stock, so I wasn't sure you'd be able to get it.
Well, you know, I spent a night standing in line, kinda.
You spent a whole night in line? You did all that for me?
I, didn't, but, well, yeah, something like that. Dude, you risked your life to get this.
Just stick to the bit, my guy. Really? I'm so happy. I'm tearing up now. Thank you. I love you so much. You don't deserve him. You deserve so much better.
That's good. I'm glad it makes you so happy. Haha.
Yeah, just don't fuck up next time, bro. I'm just creeping back there.
How about that? Looks like you got away with the fake.
Huh? Is there something wrong?
Oh man, that's the face of a moral dilemma.
It's close. game. Fucking claw game.
Hold on. He's manning up. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, not the deep voice. Huh? Why are you apologizing?
Why did your voice change? I have to tell you what really happened. Whoa, don't tell me he's gonna...
It broke it! Hold on. I gotta fix the claw machine. Let me see if I can't fix it. Claw machine, why are you broken? Let me see if
Your titties took too much bandwidth from your stream, from your OBS. That's what happened. It took too much memory to render your boobs.
Try it again. Boob memory is the greatest memory.
Yeah.
Is it still broken? I don't know what the fuck the
Yeah, it
problem
looks
is.
like it's broken.
Why? Claw gay.
Claw gay. That claw do be gay, and we're here to support it.
Work for me. What the fuck? Didn't like you. Why? What the shit? It's so mean.
Wow.
Wow. Oh my god.
Wow, it just
Wow.
literally hates cats.
It really does.
Yeah, maybe
Mother,
it just knows
I
that
went to
cat doesn't know
Majima
what a
Senpai's
fat
club and
sushi
met
is.
some lovely new
God.
friends. I would like the necessary finances to buy my new friends some champagne and clothes. If the finances are not faxed into my bank account in the next 4 to 8 business days, I shall be forced to take drastic
I would like
measures.
to buy
Measures
my
such
new
as getting a
friends some
job.
champagne and clothes. If the finances are not faxed into my bank account in the next 4 days, I shall be forced to take drastic measures such as getting a job.
Jill's growing up so fast. She's gonna get a job. I ain't got that kind of Yakuza money.
Yeah. We only
Hi,
have 100 million
Darmo.
yen.
Only 100 million.
Yeah.
Only 100 million. Just a little bit.
That necklace, it's actually, it's a fake.
Dun dun dun. Pardon? It's fake.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Why? Why did you try to trick me? That's terrible. You suck.
I'm so sorry.
Huggies. You gave me a fake for my birthday? I feel like an idiot for being so happy. Yee, Darmo, how's you?
Yep. Now it's all going to hell in a handbasket. This calls for the No, Majima.
You do not need to be in everything.
Let him be a man. What? Two high schoolers in the background, they were just like, oh, fuck this.
What?
Excuse me, lady.
Pardon?
Eh?
Majima-san.
It
My
was
love.
my idea.
What on earth possessed you to spill the beans, huh? Because when I saw how happy it made her, I couldn't help but feel this horrible guilt.
Brain not braining.
Yeah.
Oh. Fax machines are still used to move money around.
Yep.
Sandy is so rude. He likes to make death suffer too.
Yeah. Sanity spent the past 5 hours making me suffer.
My name's not Judy. I watched so much Judge Judy as a kid.
Hey, in for a yen, in for a kilo. If you're gonna get a guilt complex, You shouldn't have faked it to begin with.
Right?
I know. I'm sorry. I'm the worst.
You're a bitch. So sad.
Okay, lady, let me clue you in on this, though. That necklace is fake. And your boyfriend's a dingbat. And he has a tiny penis. But I can't fault you for being upset. That's it, I got nothing else.
That's it. Have a good night. Bye.
I just see you happy. That part is real, man.
Huh?
He went through a lot to get that fake. The kind of trouble you probably don't want to know about. Yeah, he nearly died.
Right.
He ended up in a forger's secret office with his life and his digits and dick. Look, they turn around again. They're just like, oh fuck, is this still going on?
Like, hurry
It's
up.
like, no. God damn it. Yeah, he's an idiot, alright. Sure, trying to slip you a fake's a dumb mistake. But he went through all that just so he could see his smile. That desire, that part of it at least, ain't nothing fake about it.
Stop gaslighting her, Majima.
Yeah, no, he's fucking pussy. I guess I could keep stringing him along.
You really went through all that?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Breaking about 35 seconds. You idiot!
Oh,
How could you be so stupid? What if something happened to you? What am I supposed to do then?
yeah, what am I supposed to do without my meal ticket?
Right.
Sorry.
Feed me. I want ramen after this.
Yeah.
How does a guy who's missing fingers hold his girlfriend's hand?
Oh, that's actually kind of sweet.
How does a guy missing his penis fuck his girlfriend?
How will you give me missionary without a penis? Oh,
Please, no more lies. Just be honest with me.
yes. I'm really, really sorry. Next time, when the real thing is in stock, we'll go buy one together.
You should have did that in the first place, you dumbass.
Yeah, you should have
I
fucking
don't
did
want
that.
it.
Huh?
I don't want another one. I have this one.
But that one's just a fake.
It's real enough for me, and that makes it unique.
Listen to what she's saying. She's telling you that fake that her boyfriend struggled to get shines brighter than the real thing. She's a fine lady, you fool. You best be good to her.
She doesn't deserve your dumbass.
Mother, worry not about my potential future employment. I have a job already lined up, should the drastic measures need to be taken. I'm not
Need
too
to be
sure about the
taken. I'm not
details
too
of the
sure about
job,
the
but from the
details of
job
the job.
title, all I
But from
have
the
to
job
do is
title,
walk
all
the
I have to do is
streets.
walk the
My
streets.
supervisor even used to
Used
be important at McDonald's. They still call him Big Mac Daddy.
Fuck.
I am waiting for the champagne and dress money to come through the fax
Oh,
machine, and such
fuck.
work isn't needed.
Joel? Tell Uncle Death who is giving you this job.
Big Mac
I
Daddy,
need-
apparently. Oh no.
I need to have a talk with them. With this shotgun.
I think Majima needs to help with this situation.
Yeah, Majima needs to help with this situation.
I'll do the RR after the ads go away.
Yeah. So everyone can hear it.
It's easy. What we do is go to the store and then censor, and then we put it on and then censor, and trust me, we can make it. Censor. Yee. Oh god. The Big Mac Daddy death.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah,
Mac.
so, where is this Big Mac Daddy?
Right.
I need to have a talk with him and ask him, what this shotgun barrel tastes like.
Freedom! Freedom from ad gel. Ada, 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 ada. You're welcome. Anyway.
Yay!
Yay! I did the thing. I did the thing I was supposed to do. Yay.
Yes. Yes, I will.
I'll stop being pathetic. Woo!
Majima-san, thank you so much for everything you did for me. For us. Please, I want you to have this.
I don't want your shitty wallet.
You got a secret
I
wallet.
don't want your secret wallet. I don't want to know what's in it.
It's a picture of him naked.
Oh, no!
From now on, I'll always be honest with my girl. No more faking. Only what I really feel.
He's been faking it this whole time.
Yeah. He's been faking being straight this whole time. He's like, after we leave, he turns to her and says, "Honey, I'm gay and I'm in love with Majima. Goodbye." Yeah, that's for the best.
Yum, yum, yum.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Shall we go?
I still want ramen. Yep.
And it's said that his penis grew 3 sizes that day.
Alright.
Fake that shines brighter than the real thing, huh? They save kids. Ramen D's nuts in your mouth.
Oh man, I'll take any kind of ramen at this point.
Oh, okay, okay. So now, let's go get the slime shotguns just in case we run into that fucker with the run into Mr. Shakedown.
Where is that?
Okay, it's on the end you're already at. You see that yellow one with the person icon? I'm pretty sure that's it.
This one? Yeah,
Yep.
it's right behind me.
Yep, we want to go there. Other way. There you go.
This gay for Majima is Edgeworth. This gay for Phoenix. Lady, move!
Alright, go into there.
Enter.
Huh?
But hey, we run out of egg again. You were supposed to go be out shopping.
Huh?
Oh, sorry. Weapons customer stopped me to complain, and I guess I got distracted.
What?
You guys seem busy. Want me to come back later? Oh, Majima-san. How are you? I'm sorry you had to see that. Hello, Majima-san.
She's no guilt.
Anyway, back to eggs. Why he? Best prices at market next town over. You're relentless. Alright. I'll be back with them soon. Oh, while you're there, you can look for equipment for Majima-san too. What? But I've never done agent work.
First time for everything, buddy. Buckle up.
You want Fei-Hugh to do what? We tell you about agents like treasure hunters, but find equipment for parts. Fei-Hugh go find good things for Majima-san. Make lots of money.
Girl, she is shameless.
Yeah. Does this work really such good money? What do you do exactly? This what we do, Majima-san. Okay, so now we're learning about how their business actually works.
Okay.
You can pick a place on the map, and you'll send an agent.
Oh.
Depending on the agent's skill, and how much you're willing to pay them, and give them extra funds as well, will depict what comes out of the results there.
Gotcha.
You can pay them just their rate, or you can pay them extra to get them a little bit more motivated, and they come back with better stuff.
Gotcha.
Okay, search request town. Next time you choose agent and destination to search. And oh, don't forget, you can pay a little extra too. Extra funds motivate agents, get better things, and also come back sooner.
Ah.
A little tip to get them to work harder, eh? Makes sense. All right. Good luck, Faye.
Aye.
Thank you. I will do my best. I'll contact you on your pager when I return, so you can pick up what I find. I'll make sure to lock the door when I'm out. I'll be going now.
Okay.
This here, yeah. And now you should be able to buy weapons from her specifically. Yeah, just there you go. There she is. You're not back yet. Oh, I think we have to wait for him to come back.
Oh.
Yeah, go outside and maybe we'll just have to wait for the page.
Okay.
Alright, so now what do you want to do?
I don't know. I was gonna go do the main quest.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Finally.
We just gotta get back to Majima's apartment. So just go all the way to the other side of the street and then cross the bridge.
Yeah. Obviously, you should play Mahjong.
Look, Ark, you want to teach her how to play Mahjong, you're more than welcome to.
I don't know. Ark had a bad day. Maybe we should play some Mahjong for her.
Yeah.
No Mahjong! Kat, you don't like Mahjong either?
Yeah, I'm with you,
What's
Kat.
wrong with
I hate that shit.
Mahjong? Get up, you... Come on.
No, Kat. Trix isn't to the hostess club yet.
Don't be rude to Mahjong. Isn't there like an old man around here that plays it?
No, that was Shogi.
I'm Shogi.
You can look on the map. There might be a Mahjong parlor somewhere. It would be one of the purple star areas. That's Sega High Tech Land. You'd have to zoom in closer. It might be like... You can't be that far out, yeah. Because it might be someone just like sitting around somewhere. That's the Shogi guy.
Okay.
Karaoke bar. Maybe there. No, that's not it.
There it is.
Oh, there it is. The Mahjong parlor. Yeah, it's actually pretty near where we're going.
Okay. We'll play a game of something I don't know how to play. I don't know how to play.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you do realize Trix doesn't know how to play.
okay.
And I can't explain it to her. Okay, turn there.
Death, you don't know how to play Mahjong?
Fuck no, I tried.
You tried. Death, you gotta teach me what you know.
Oh god, no, you're on your own.
I'm on my own.
I can tell you pretty much everything else about this game, but how to play Mahjong? Nah, you're on your fucking own, man.
Wait, is it this?
The elevator.
There we go.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Cause they love him in London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico. They say I believe in Joe
We can
Hendry.
get you a Steam Deck so
I
you can activate
believe in
those.
Joe
I
Hendry.
have one. I just need to learn how to use it.
Then learn how to use it.
Look, it's a work in progress. It's part of the it's part of the debut. We'll get there.
Okay.
Eventually. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Alright, Ark, it's all you. I'm gonna play Cult of the Lamb while you guys do this.
But it's your favorite.
Fuck no.
But it's your absolute favoriteest game in the whole wide world.
Who the fuck are you talking to exactly?
Who are these? Who are you
Because
guys?
it sure as hell ain't me. I think you talked to the guy. Oh, okay, so you can see them.
Oh, okay.
Mahjong player.
You do it.
Play this table.
I mean, Arkna. Astaroth, do you know how to play Mahjong?
I think that's the high level table. You might want to make sure. Don't play with them.
Okay, I'll check everybody in the room.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. No,
Okay,
they are
I
the
think.
beginner.
Yeah, no. Okay, good. They're the beginner one. We just had to make sure of that.
No. No. Nope. He said, we suck. Sounds good to me. Alright. Time to not know what I'm doing. Yeah! Alright, the controls are gonna be the, You're busy monster hunting. Okay, these are 2s.
Oh, the advanced
How
table is a
much
2.5 mil?
Holy shit!
Shit!
I gotta do scripts, guys.
That's
I gotta sit
a
up. I gotta sit up.
fucking lot! Jesus.
Ooh, okay.
No, that's a lot just to play fucking
Look, that's a
Mahjong.
chicken!
Well, I think that's a peacock.
Is a chicken.
Oh, you want an advanced game is in Yakuza? Or, like, just in the other Mahjong game?
Is a chicken.
Trix, do you know what you're doing?
I'm trying.
Okay.
Like a chicken!
That's a peacock.
Hold on, let me help Ark out. Cause, yeah, you're in the way. We're gonna get rid of you real quick.
Okay, that's fine.
Toss you. Just put you on my head. Here we go. My arms! God damn it! I'm in the way now. I mean, I could. Wow, that's about as good as it gets. Damn it. Where am I? Where am I? This all needs to be redone, guys. I need to learn how to use my Stream Deck. I need to pick a single bot to do all of my stuff. No more of this, like, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, all over the place shit. Where the fuck am I? Oh, here I am. Just enough. There we go. It's a 7. That's a 7. Remember, Ark, I can only count to 4. Alright, so we've got... Oh, I know. What does pung mean? What's a
No
pung?
idea.
Pung. Pung. Chow. I don't know what any of these words mean. You call it and you get a triplet. I don't want any babies. I don't want any babies. Oh, my eyeball itches. Hold on. So that's also a 7, right?
I believe so?
7. It's just like, they're in order. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You could have like a full straight, right? Is that a thing?
I think so. Like I said, I've got no idea.
Pung, I don't know what that means. Do 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 do.
Mario, this is not.
Oh, another chicken! Death, we have another chicken. Ooh, look at all them chickens.
Good for you.
Chicken. What, you don't like chickens? We were just talking about all the chickens that Cat has, and that she's gonna name one after us. You don't care about chickens anymore? See how it is.
No, I care about chickens. I don't care about that peacock.
You wanna see my peacock? My peacock. Boom, boom, boom. Is that 9? 9? I'm trying to remember numbers. Is this a 9? So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That has to be 9. That's not 3. Because 3 is 3 lines. I know that. I did a thing! Oh, she did a thing too. A thing happened, Death.
A thing happened.
A thing happened. We're just going until one of us wins. What's
Yeah,
Ron?
like I said, good luck.
Ron from Harry Potter? But he's the worst character. What happened, Ark? I don't understand what happened. What happened? Oh, I won! Death, I won!
You what? How?
I don't know! Must have been them chickens. Oh, wait, the hand. There's more in there. There's more things I have to do, right? There's like several of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so we got 2, 3, 6, 6, 8. I did win because of the chickens. Lucky chickens. And you didn't care about the chickens. 1, 4. Ugh, get rid of you.
Well, I guess they've proven their use.
Yeah, 6, 6, 8. 6, 6, 8. 3. You have like nothing. Shut up! I'm trying to match all the tiles. I don't know what I'm doing otherwise. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. I want you in my room. Okay, what was this one again? This was not 9. 7? Was that a 7?
No, oh.
I can only count to 4. But yeah, I know that's a 3. The first 3 tiles are really easy because they're just little dashes. It's a 7? Shut up, bro. I'll take my damn time. You shut up. 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 9, a 5, 2 4s, a 1. You got 2, 3, 6, 6, 7, 8. I don't know. I got 3 blanks. Shooting blanks.
Congratulations.
What's the luck? What's the luck? It dropped a... Oh, one of the... Because there's 2 of them? Hold on. So 2, 4, 6. So that's 8. So we got 7, 8, 9. 3 dragons. I guess that's a dragon. Because you're supposed to be 4 dragons. 4, 5. I don't know what to do. Maybe drop one of the 4s? Eat my butt. Eat my butt. Oh.
I don't think they want to.
You don't want to eat my butt?
I mean, I said they don't want to.
Oh. We're doing the thing again. The game's just doing its own thing. Pong. Ping pong pong. I don't know how to. I don't know what this is. Bung. Bing bung. They're playing aggressive. It was a draw. It was a draw, guys. I didn't win this time. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I'll take a draw. A draw is a win when you don't know what you're doing.
Pretty much.
2 whites, 2 chickens. I don't think I want you. 1, 1, 2, 3. Ark, I can read the 1, 2, 3. I can read the 1, 2, 3. Those are easy. They tell you what they are with the number of strikes. Why you hit me? I know I'm already dumb enough. I don't need that kind of brain damage. I can only count to 4. Yeah, I know what 4 looks like.
Yeah, remember,
kinda.
Tricks.
Wait, 1,
Tricks
2.
can't count very high, Ark. You gotta be patient with her.
I'm just a baby. I'm just a baby. What is that? That's take as long as I need. Good, because I'm gonna take it. What is game? Is this? This is Mahjong, but like not the Mahjong I grew up with. The Mahjong I grew up with is solitaire. You match the tiles. This is I drew an 8. An 8. The R. This weird like little mountain looking thing is an 8. You got 2 dragons and 8. Another 8. But 7, 8, 9. Has it exploded? Not yet. Oh. Womp. Womp, 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 womp. My brain died.
Yeah, mine never turned on. Sorry.
Womp, 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 womp. Phenomena. What's a oh. Wait, what's that? What?
Ricci?
Iran is a win! Oh my god. Oh, and sumo is I won. Watchdog! Do you know how to play Mahjong? sumo. Who said it? Who said that? Oh, no clue. Me neither. Oh, somebody. I'm sorry! The guy across from... Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy in particular. Alright, what we got here? We got 1, 1, 2, 2, 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8, 4, 6, 7. These are, north, south, east, and west. I just don't know which one is which. That's the green dragon. This one's west and this one's south. And this is a 2. West looks like a scythe. To harvest wheat? Wheat? Wheat. S has yen in it, which is the dollar sign. That's how I remember west. You remember west because you remember south? Dude, what? No? West looks like a scythe, and then south... Shut up! And then south looks like, the money. The monies.
Oh.
I think that's what he was saying. What
Yeah, I got no idea.
Why does help? North is the other one.
Yeah, I can't help you with any of this. You're gonna have to completely rely on Arcanon.
Help me.
I literally cannot.
But you're smarter than me.
I'm not smart enough for this.
But why not?
Because this is literally too much for me. I'm serious when I say I tried to play this game with Ark. Like, I tried to play Mahjong, and all I felt was frustrated and angry the entire time.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's not that hard, he says.
Yeah, maybe for you, Ark, but again, I hate it.
Fuck me.
I absolutely despise it.
That's just the Mahjong experience. You have an ad. Womp. I didn't win that time. I lost.
Oh no.
I don't know. Let's see. 1, 1, 5, 6, 7. 1, 1, 5, 6, 7, 4. Wait. That's a 4? No, the one on the end is 4. You confused me. You confused me. I drew the 4. Yeah, I see that now. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 7. Get out of here, I guess. I don't know. There's a 3. So I got 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's a 2. A dose. So we could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that a thing? I can count to 7 now, guys.
Congratulations.
Yay! I can only count to 7. I can only count to 7. Does chow mean I eat them? Arctis,
No,
what is
that's
chow?
another cow. That's another call, I believe.
Why would I push it?
I don't know. Why
Oh.
would you push it?
Push me and then just touch me. Chow is chi, which makes a sequence. I don't know what that means. I don't know what a yaku is.
Might have been better for you to do this while Ark was in the call.
I wish I could share this stream to both of you, because part of the thing is that he's seeing it in a, like a, what do you call it?
Like the delay. Is he seeing it with a delay?
Yeah, he's getting the delay.
Okay.
It's fine.
It really isn't.
Fine, Ark, what's fine? Ark, are you fine?
Are you doing okay, Ark?
Are you fine? Oopity doopity doopity doop. Bong. You'll live. But no call. No call, no show. Rigty! That whore! I don't know what that means. You slut.
Yeah.
Bitch McGee! I don't know what any of those words mean.
Yep. Hey, look at that. Me too.
Okay, so we got here. I know what. Okay, we got 1, a 3, 2 turkeys. I don't know what that means. If kept that one of characters, you could have discarded the 6. Oh, whoops. 1, 3, 2 turkeys, a 5, a 7, an 8. to shut up.
They definitely won't.
Yeah, I figured it out. I didn't like count the little legs, but I figured it out. Ark, what should I do? Can I drop one of these? Pong! Ping pong. I was like, why are we waiting? Oh, yeah. Ping pong. Ping pong. Pong the easts if they come up. Are these easts? Are these easts?
Oh, that's the east wind. Okay.
That's east. Are the chickens good luck?
Pretty sure they're just another suit, but
They're just chickens? Just chickens.
just another suit in the hand, like anything else.
Looks like, are my chickens lucky? I have lucky chickens.
Grrr.
What? What was that?
I've just kind of given up on the whole situation.
Should I, you said on the east, right? Should I do that? The thing? Pong it, pingy pong it. I'm ponging it. I don't know what that means, but you said pong to the east, so I did it. Now... Ba 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 da ba ba. Boppity doppity 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 sloppity toppity.
No.
No sloppity toppity?
No. Because you're
No.
playing Mahjong.
You can't have sloppity toppity while you play Mahjong? You can't do
No,
that?
you can't. No, you can't.
Why
Sorry.
not? That'd be the
Right to jail.
Oh,
Right away.
That's the rules.
I have to go to jail now. I said a naughty thing. Oh, the jail's not big enough. Hold on. It's only big enough to contain my titties.
Them some bad crime-filled titties.
Actually, no, I kind of like the idea of having crime-filled titties. Where? Hold on, come here, bitch. Oh shit, the titties done ran away. Hold on. Fuck! Come back here. Not you. You. Come back. No, it flipped. The titties are in jail. The titties have been jailed.
Titties are in jail?
Titties
Okay.
are in jail. It won't work with my whole face now. That's where all the brain cells are. Oh no, Ark, they
It
put
makes
my brain
sense.
cells away. Alright.
Made sense now. They put all your brain power in your boobs.
No! Pung? Again? No? We don't have anything, right? There's no threes. You said something about triplets? 3 babies. I could, but like, does that benefit me? Does that help in any way? But I need a pair too. What would I be punging? Oh, the chickens! I see. A 4? Get out of here, I don't want you. Yeah, I figured that out now. This is useless to me. I don't even have any of you. Oh, what's that? Is that the red dragon? It looks like a sword. Ark, why is the red dragon a sword? Is it so I can slay him or lay him?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Because Chinese is weird. We don't need the red dragon. He says he's not going to lose this one. Is he lying to me? He's going to win, isn't he?
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows?
I especially don't.
No, that cunt! There isn't a blue one. I know, because Ark is very sad that there is no blue dragon to represent him. Sad day! I'm losing bad now. That was the game. Oh my god, how many fucking hands is there? Ark, I'm in last place. Was anyone surprised? Was anyone surprised? We've got, hold on, let's see. We've got 4, 9, 9, 4, 4, 8, 3.
Considering none of us knew what we were doing, neither of us knew what we were doing, and Arcanon couldn't effectively relay instructions because of the delay.
This is west. This is north. This is south. Oh no! Wait, I think I can remove the sign. Hold on. There you go. Okay. White dragon 9. There's 3 9s, Ark. 999.
Sorry, I'm sorry I'm so silent. I've just got nothing to say with Mahjong.
But Death, you could learn with me.
I very much do not want to learn Mahjong. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I very much don't want to know.
But it could be fun.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be.
It could be fun if you learned.
Did you miss the part where I said I tried to learn and felt nothing but frustration and
Death
anger?
is a hater. Is it because Ark taught you?
Not really, no. Ark actually was doing a good job explaining things. I just couldn't get into it.
Ciao.
Like, Ark is just gonna have to, you know, accept that I cannot do Mahjong.
You think you over-explained a few things? I have 3 4s. Is that good? I have 3 9s. Is that good? If I get 3 of 3 of a kind, do I win?
Hell if I know.
But if I told him like 4 or 5 Yako, he'd be fine with it. Yeah, it is. That's one of them. Yeah, I don't know what the like all the conditions are. All triplets is a Yako. Okay, cool. Cool, I guess. You forget them all the time? Okay, well I don't feel so bad now. There's like 20 of them. Holy shit! That's too damn many. Pong! Someone called Pong. What? What? What's Ricci City? What does that mean? Is that just like one specific condition and you just go after that one condition? Is that what you're telling me? I don't know. That's a 5. 4, 5, 6, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. 9, 9, 9. Damn it! That was not good. I clicked a button I didn't want to click. That was a bad thing. I think he took it from me. What does Kong mean? You showed me your waifus. Death, have you seen his waifus?
I have not seen Arcanon specifically.
He's got so many waifus.
Oh, man.
There's so
I mean,
many,
I feel like that's all of us.
there's so many waifus. I can't keep up with them all. They're Mahjong waifus.
Oh, yeah. I think
Damn
he's-
it.
Okay, yeah, I know what he's talking about. Oh.
Eat my butt. I won one hand and we got a draw. I consider that good.
Yeah.
For me. Ba-ding, ding, 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 dong, 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 dong. Oh
How many hands of
no!
Mahjong are
Jesus
there?
Christ. Ark, how many of these are? I won 3 hands, did I? Oh, that's good. Dealer keeps win. It doesn't end until the dealer loses? Oh my god.
Well, fuck. We're gonna be here forever.
Ark, just tell me what to do. Just tell me what to put me out of my misery. Ark, just tell me what tiles to play. Rapid fire. Do it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tell her exactly
4
what to
character.
do, Arcanon.
This is
Otherwise,
4.
we are going to just be here forever.
Thank you, Watchdog. Is this a 4? This was 4, right? This is a 4 character. Okay. Pong, yes or no? Oh, this delay sucks. Smooch redeem. Oh, I don't know. I think it got lost. Alright, Ark, what do I play? What do I play? What do I put down? What do I slap on this table? And make them eat. 9 circles of hell. Here we go. No chow. Go away. Alright, now what? Now what? Because that's 8. Northwind. Goodbye. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. Alright. And again. Get out of here. We now have 4 circles. 3, 4, 4, 5. Is that a shape? Is that what you called it? A shape? Like the shape of water? Like the shape of a beautiful woman in the silhouette of a window?
No.
Drop the east. Wow, now we're just throwing gang signs? What? Ark, what happened? You made us lose. Someone else won? Okay, I think it's over. Wait, were you trying to get me to lose? Ark,
I think so.
Did you make me lose on purpose? No? No? You didn't deal in. What didn't I deal? What? I'm confused. Ark, I'm confused. You hurted my brain.
I told you.
Alright, let's get the sign back. And let's put Death where he belongs. There we go. Okay. Alright, Death, are you ready? Death, are you ready?
Yes.
It's your turn.
Yeah, finally.
It's your
Hell
turn.
no.
Are you happy, Ark? We play Mahjong. Oh, we're going to the story thing.
Yeah, finally.
Wow.
Turn into that small alley. There you go.
Oh, Sussy Alley. Time to play advanced table for 2.5 million. No, I
Fuck
need that.
no.
I'm keeping my
Fuck
money.
no. Do I know you? Yeah, I'm with Odyssey. Ring any bells?
Bum bum bum. Odyssey.
Look, if this is about Nozomi, Yagami, and I worked out a deal.
Odyssey.
Just because the manager okayed it don't mean we did. You got balls like boulders to come poach our #1 girl.
Oh, they're mad. They're angry. Fuck. They're
That's a
piling up.
rival Yakuza faction. Huh. I heard about your little customer's king policy. They say you'd even get down on your knees and beg.
I want you to get down on your knees and beg.
What? Excuse me? Excuse me? Excuse me?
Beg me not to play Mahjong anymore.
Excuse me? Is the bottom trying to order me around?
The bottom is a switch. Just because I bottom 75% of the time doesn't mean I don't like to have fun. Got me right. They're talking shit. Ow! Owie! I get bonked again.
Good job, Astaroth.
Ah.
And if you're some punk begging to get served, then you're gonna find I'm more than willing to accommodate.
We're gonna serve them. It's gonna be a dance battle.
We're gonna serve them in their stupid face.
Serve them in a dance battle style. My damn model keeps twitching. I gotta figure out a better setup for my camera, guys.
Yeah.
Because it keeps, like... Get off of me, you son of a bitch!
There you go.
I like the bat! Daddy like me. I like to swing-a-ling-a-ding-dong.
Funk. I cast 3 years hospital.
You keep bunking me, I'll bunk 'em back.
This guy's some kind of monster. What are you?
Oh, no! I gotta take my pills. Oh, no! Sniveling little bitch.
You want come drink it? As long as you're my customer, I'll get down on my knees and grovel as much as you want. Do your worst.
Fighting words.
Just make sure you're ready to pay the tab once you're done being my customer. Customer is king. You got it?
That's right. Scare them straight, Majima. Scare them straight. I gotta... Come here, Pill. Jesus.
No one in this game is straight.
Remember, we can't talk about that because it's against Twitch's terms and services.
Yeah, fucking
Jesus
Jesus.
Christ. We can't talk about being gay, fellas.
Oh, that's my pager. Oh, your pager's going off. Beep, 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 beep.
Dad, I was taking my pill.
Oh, yeah, the stuff came in at the weapon shop.
I'm glad it translates it for me because I'm too young to know pager speak.
So am I.
How did we get up here? Should we go get the weapons or should we just proceed?
Up to you. Really doesn't matter.
I mean, we're right here.
Yeah.
It would be backtracking if we left. Ominous doorknob.
Hey, welcome to Majima's shitty apartment.
Oh, buddy. Oh, honey. Oh, honey. Honey, that's... Oh, that's a sad apartment.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a sad apartment. I'm sad for him.
Yep.
Add in 45 seconds. Also, if you haven't taken your pills today, take your pills. Take your pills. You should
I just did. It was technically
pills.
time
You
for me
should
to take mine.
anxiety pills. You should take your tummy pills.
Oh, across the way?
Oh, that's fucking creepy.
Oh, there's a reason for it.
I'd pull out my dick in helicopter. You gonna
Well,
watch me? I'm gonna give you a show.
Here's the thing. They all are watching him.
Well, I know.
This isn't like just unnecessarily creepy.
I'd still give them a show. They're gonna
They're
complain.
all
They're gonna be
working
like,
for
they're
they're all working for Sugawara.
They're gonna go to the boss and be like, man, I'm tired of watching this man. He keeps whipping his dick out.
Yeah. It's like, boss, can I do something else besides
I'm
watching
tired
this
of watching
guy?
this man.
Like,
he
why?
looks
What's
as
so bad?
he looks as dead in the eye when he masturbates every night.
Yeah, he just like whips his dick out and starts jerking off. He
Hey.
doesn't break eye contact.
We finished chapter 3.
And we got 2 million yen.
Yay.
Congratulations.
You want to see my pecker? Proof of resolve. And an ad. Ooh.
3 years ago, Kamurocho.
Man is helicoptering his dick and I'm having self-conscious issues. It's not the only baseball bat he carries, boss.
Like he jumps on the window. Like Majima would do that. He'd jump on the windowsill and just start helicoptering his dick at them.
I'm just saying, they want to watch me. I'm going to give them a show. Six guns.
That gives us 32 shots. Hey, have you guys ever heard about this thing called reloading?
Yo. As if they can't have any other bullets ever.
Yeah.
Majima 2 Eyes is bad? You don't want your man to be able to see? He only needs one. You only need one eye.
That's today's plan, yeah? Well, it turns out that plan is problematic.
Used to my one-eyed bastard. See him with 2 eyes, brain fizzles out.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It's a little jarring.
My bro's already on his way out there. The hell do you expect me to do? Are you telling me to betray my sworn brother? Just sit here and let him die on his own? Calm down, calm down. I'm going. I don't give two shits about what happens after. Sajima's the only brother I got in this world. Majima-san, you'll be signing your own death warrant. Shut it! You think I care? I'm ready for what comes after. I've been ready to die for a long time now. Is that so? Then I'm afraid I have no choice. Boys.
Boys. Break this man.
Shibata.
Damn. Oh shit, son. So that's where it went.
Yep, that's how he lost his eye, and then he was put down in a hole for 3 years, and they tortured him every day.
What the actual fuck?
Yeah, you disappoint me, Majima.
Shut up, Cue-Ball.
Shimano, boss.
Look like a fucking kingpin from Batman. Shut up.
Orders are absolute in the Yakuza. Figured a guy like you would know that much. Us. My brother. What happened to Seijima?
He still only cares about one thing?
Please tell me. Boss.
I don't like his fucking smile.
Oh no, Shimano's a fucking greasy douchebag. Yakuza who lose their way wind up in this hole. Us. Don't worry, we won't kill you. Although, all the guys we throw down here end up crying and begging to die. Wonder why that is. Boss. Where's my brother? Please tell me.
Oof. Waffle Supreme.
Yeah, so Shimano, our first introduction to him in the first Yakuza game, guess what he does? He's getting a haircut.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like he gets a haircut the old-fashioned way. They use straight razors.
Gotcha, yeah.
And the girl who's cutting his hair slightly nicks his head.
Ow, but okay, an accident.
Yeah, it makes a tiny cut on his head, and he sees the blood, and then he just like he looks to one of his support, and he's like, "Hey, give me your hand for a second." He's like, sure." And he grabs his hand, pins it against the wall, and then just slices off 2 of the guy's fingers with the straight razor. He says, "I'm feeling generous, so I'll only take 2 of your fingers."
What the fuck, bro?
He punished this one random subordinate for something he didn't even fucking do.
That's messed up.
Yeah. Another shit night's sleep. Gotta get to work. Not much help I can do right now.
Alright. I finally let him go to bed in his sad fucking apartment.
Yep.
It's so sad.
This is supposed to be a punishment for him. Do you think they'd put him up in a luxury suite?
Well, no. I suppose anything's better than where he was.
In the torture pit? Yes.
Yeah. Torture pit. Okay, where was the weapon shop?
It's across the bridge. So go up. To the right. See where the person icon is?
Yeah,
That's where it is.
so just go the other way and go right. There we go. Girl, move.
Right.
Get the fuck out of my way. I'm walking here.
Ooh, more side quests.
God, you think we got enough of those? Jesus, I'm stuck on a rock. Oh, death is the Men in Black.
They've come to shoot our dog.
Ow, get off of my asshole. All right, let's go. Yay!
Out of our way, douchebags.
Yeah, get the fuck out of my way.
Okay, go ahead and talk to her.
I will end you.
We got equipment search results.
Yeah.
Visit an old rundown shop. Managed to sneak into the store without looking suspicious. Approached by a third party with a side deal. Resounding success. With mission went even better than hoped. We got some steel, hard lead, plastic, and iron.
Okay.
We also obtained a dagger and a metal bat.
Okay.
Equipment recipe pots. Not bad, Fahid. Not bad. I'm not a professional agent, but next time we can call in one of the agents in our network. I will continue for looking for more agents as well. I hope to expand our network to get better information on powerful equipment and acquire the most resourceful agents. As you might imagine, the more valuable the equipment, the harder it is for us to get.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense, I guess. If we got a one-of-a-kind weapon, you ain't gonna sell it to some agent guy.
Yeah.
In these cases, the agents can bring back recipes with information on how to create a replica. I can then recreate the item in my workshop. But you need parts for that, so you get parts, we have some spare ones here, you can have them, for free. You lucky man. You got lead ingots.
Oh, thanks.
You got quality iron.
Thanks.
She's giving you a few. Got iron gears.
Hello! Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Hi, hi. Hi, hi. I changed my outfit because it's not Halloween no more.
Yeah. Also, Trix's boobs are in jail.
They're in jail because I was saying horny shit. I got that corset you said you were talking about. The only thing I couldn't figure out was like accessories, like necklaces and stuff. Then it kind of got a little too close for stream, so I said, fuck it, I'll worry about that later.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Thank you. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was like,
Welcoming the Raiders?
Yeah. Well, no, I'm talking about putting the clothes on the model. Ding dong.
Oh. Oh.
Ding 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 dong.
Well, you still haven't really done your spiel yet.
No, I haven't. But yeah, hi readers. Hello, welcome in. My name is Trix. I'm everybody's favorite treasure hunting fae, and today we are playing a little bit of Yakuza 0. We normally play Borderlands on Saturday, but our buddy Ark is not feeling that all great.
Yeah.
So me and Death are playing Yakuza instead. Normally we play Yakuza on Thursdays, but this Thursday was Halloween, so we played spooky games or spooky adjacent games.
Yeah, spooky adjacent. I feel like that's fair to say.
So, yeah, so we're kind of getting to make up a little bit for lost time.
Yeah.
Yay, got a Jasper. But yeah, if you need a raid and run, you need a snack, you need a break, you need water, you need pee, whatever, you feel free. You're not obligated to hang out here with me if you do not want to.
Yeah.
Driftwood! Damn, she gave me all her wood.
Yeah. I'm sorry,
Death?
what now?
Death. What are those?
They're cursed handcuffs.
She gave me her wood and now her cursed handcuffs. Yay! Thank you! I always appreciate lurks. Lurks are always appreciated.
Flintstone, okay.
That makes sense. I'm concerned about the handcuffs.
You find parts at regular shop too. Look around and that place.
That place.
You bring parts, we make equipment. You bring money too. Otherwise, we no eat.
We no eat.
Yeah.
She gonna eat you.
I can craft or sell you more of any equipment you've already obtained in the past. Getting just a recipe without ever having the item made doesn't count, though.
Uh-oh. Shofuko Joe. I'm bad at it, too.
Got it. I send agents out to find recipes and parts for you to make me some awesome weapons and protective gear.
Make
Sounds
me
good.
some shit.
I gotta start saving up so I can afford it. Wait, Huffy, eggs. Where are eggs?
That motherfucker didn't get her eggs! Oh,
He
no!
forgot the eggs! Oh. I was so busy with it. I bet I forgot all about shopping.
This man is sleeping on the couch tonight.
Yeah.
They both sighed.
He's in the doghouse. Majima-san, I will take some time to make some for a more substantial equipment search. Sure, take your time. I'll find something to do and come back later. Good luck with the prep.
Alright.
Alright, so now maybe we can buy some weapons.
Okay, cool. Or not. They kicked me out. They said, fuck you.
No, you can probably go back in.
Okay.
Huh?
What the
My pager.
Yee! No worries. Please, go take care of yourself.
Yeah,
you
they just paged us to come back, yeah.
We're right out... Dude! We're literally right here.
Okay, fucking...
Okay, lady, I'm back.
Hello, we got more dispatch destination now. I marked new ones for you. Have a look. I remove mark when you check a new destination, okay?
Okay.
Now what you need? Okay, buy equipment, yes.
Okay. Show me what you got.
Yep. Oh, no. Those are one-handed swinging weapons. Knives.
Butterfly
We want
knife.
guns.
What?
Swords.
Hammer.
Hammers. Holes. Shotguns. That's what we want. The slime gun.
How many? Just one?
No, buy a bunch of them.
Why?
Because they have limited ammo tricks.
We can only have
you can only buy eight at a time. Looks like
That is a
you'll
lot of
need to
money.
put some of the other weapons you have in your inventory, into the item box if you want more.
We want
Okay, yeah,
anything
so quit out.
else?
Nope,
Okay.
quit out. We're gonna go ahead and real quick. We're gonna put all the other weapons we have into the item box.
Okay. So it's the save point, right? Come on, bro.
Yeah, we need to go to the save point. Yes.
Okay. Okay, I got it. Get it, got it, good.
Oh, yeah, there's one not too far.
Lady, move! Move, lady! Move, other lady! Get out of the way! Deathly in the way.
You'll have to switch to your equipment. There you go. So everything except for the slime shotguns. So if it's not a slime shotgun,
Ooh,
keep it in the inventory.
Bussin' knife. But the frozen sardines.
Brakes, put it up.
Photon blade. Oh,
No!
that's cool though.
It is, but we need these to defeat Mr. Shakedown.
Now what?
Okay, so now go into your menu.
Okay.
Equipment.
Okay.
We're going to equip one of the shotguns.
Okay.
Now, next time he comes around, you need to switch to your equipment. That's down on the D-pad. You'll bring out your shotgun, and you'll just press the Y button to shoot it at him. And once the gun runs out of ammo, you switch to a different shotgun. You can reload them by going to the shop
Okay.
and selecting to repair equipment, and it reloads the weapons.
All right.
And that's how you beat Mr. Shakedown. That's how you cheese him.
Okay. All right.
Anyways,
Oh,
we can either...
thank you so much for joining the treasure trove. I hope you have a good time. All right.
We
so
can either go do side story or...
I think we've had enough side story.
Yeah.
We've done quite a lot of side story stuff. I think it's only fair. Oh, this motherfucker again.
Yeah, that one.
Verbs!
We have to deal with the bitchy old lady.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to deal with her. Walking into a bicycle.
Well, when we do open up the cabaret club, we might want to finish that one.
Oh, what'd you get? You got a diamond! How lucky! Super
Yay!
lucky! Good job. All right, here we are. Time for work.
Thank you for managing to strike a deal with Odyssey yesterday.
Odyssey.
Just doing my job.
Get that
Now it's up to you guys to keep this place on the upswing. Still, that was quite the surprise to wake up to. Why didn't you tell me two other girls were coming back besides Nozomi? Two what now?
Nobody knew that. It was a surprise.
Sure, neither one is at Nozomi's level, but they're both veterans and fantastic draws for the club. With any luck, they'll bring in their old regulars straight to us. We gave them some of our girls in the trade, but there's no denying we came out on top here. Last night's negotiations must have been something to behold.
Oh.
Well, I did a fair bit of research beforehand. As long as you get a little dirt under your belt, you can pretty much wing the rest.
Mm-hmm.
That may be true for you, sir. It's no wonder they call you the Lord of the Night.
That's so kinky.
Kinda is.
It really is.
Looks like my went better than I thought.
Well, talk went better than you thought. Okay.
Probably could have stuck it to him even harder, though. Got a few more girls out of him. I guess I could have done more research or given the club a better look to get a few more cards in my hands to play with. No sense worrying about it now, though.
There's no point, bro.
Yeah, that's telling us we missed a few things.
Oh, well. It's no surprise I suck, okay? I'm not apologizing for who I am.
It's fine. Like, you come out on top either way.
Alright.
I like to work out the new shift schedule.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Business, 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 business stuff. Business, 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 business. We get to play businessman.
Not yet.
Oh.
We will soon, though. Telephone for you, sir. When I asked who was calling, he just said the owner. I'll handle it.
Oh, Lord.
What do you want, shitlord? Hey there, Busy Bee. Think you could cut out from work for a sec, huh? Nothing big. I just feel like grabbing drinks, you and me.
That's sussy.
The hell kind of stunt is this? Sorry, but I'd rather down a hot mug of my own piss than suffer through beers with you. Don't, though. Stuff tastes about as good as you'd think.
Oh, you trying to So you know?
Come on, the place won't burn down if you leave it to the minions for one night, huh? I'll meet you in Natsuba Park. Don't keep me waiting, yeah?
This is sus. Thank you for joining the treasure trove. I hope you have a good time while you're here.
The owner needs me. Not sure how long I'll be. I'm leaving the club to you guys.
This is so sussy. I feel like something bad's gonna happen while we're gone. Like this is a setup.
Not exactly.
Hey, hi! Welcome in.
Classy spot for a classy guy. No telling what kind of shit he'll put me down if I'm late. I better get moving.
Oh God! Now I gotta go drink beer.
Yeah, we gotta go drink beers with
Beer!
Sugawara. Fuck that guy.
Ew. Piss water. Did I go the wrong way?
No, you can still go down the stairs there in front of you.
Okay. Horse piss. I don't want to fuck that guy. Yeah, me neither.
I don't think anyone wants to fuck Sugawara.
Yeah, who wants to fuck that guy? Name me one person. There's probably one motherfucker out there.
Yeah, there probably is.
You're
one
out
person
there.
I'm
I
willing to
know
bet.
you are.
Yeah.
And I have questions.
Yeah.
Just why?
Remind me to No, don't.
Not Tumblr. I've had my time with Tumblr.
You want to go across the bridge?
I'm going across the bridge.
Yep.
Across the bridge. Damn, man. I'm not an alien. Get out of here.
And it's very 50 Shades, but somehow worked. God, fucking hell.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, they ship him with Mahjong, you know.
Hey, small man. Hi, Small. Yay! I love Nell's emote. It's so cute. Thank you, Sanity. But hello, welcome in. I totally just did my spiel, but my name is Trix. I am everybody's favorite treasure hunting fae, and today I am playing a little bit of Yakuza 0 with Death.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm dragging everybody into the
I'm
Yakuza
old.
fandom.
I'm hella old. Okay, wait, maybe not hella old, but I'm old. I'm old adjacent.
We're pretty old.
My knees be crackling, y'all. I got the
My knees don't work.
Oh yeah, I'm aware. I got the snap, crackle, and pops. Yeah. Caramel Dancing will probably become a sound redeem for post debut.
Nice.
Oh yes, convert them. Bring them into the cult. You're around the same stage of yeah, probably. I'm gonna be 35 on my debut in December.
Oof.
I'm gonna be 35. God, I feel so.
Oh, that means you're a little older. You're like a few weeks older than me.
I'm crispy. I'm crispy. When's your birthday?
January 29th.
Oh, that's right. Your birthday's in January. Your birthday's the same day as my nephew's birthday.
Ooh.
That's how I think someone told me. I was like, oh, that's going to be so easy to remember. It's a 35 a month and a half after that. Gee.
Man, I wish I knew you guys in school instead of the people I did.
Right? Joe's birthday is also in January. February 16th. Oh, yours is really close to Valentine's Day. Like mine is so close to Christmas. I am a little nervous nobody's gonna show up and they're gonna be like, sorry, but like Christmas was 2 days ago. I just couldn't swing it.
You want to turn right here. I have to be Trix's navigator.
I don't know how to read maps.
I don't know how to directions.
I don't know map how. How map? How to map? Eat my ass.
Like, oh wait,
Yeah.
sorry, cutscene. We'll leave you alone.
If only that's what it took to get people to leave you alone.
Yeah.
Hey, the fuck you want?
Mind telling me what I'm doing here? I don't be. I told you. I just felt
You are
like
not that
grubbing
fucking
around
nice,
with my
asshole.
guy.
I don't
You
trust
are
you.
Not our boy. Take a seat, Tiger.
Do not call me Tiger. Do
Eat
not
shit.
call me Tiger.
Guess we better get a drink in you first.
Is he drugging me? Am I being roofied? I feel like I am.
He's not. No, this is actually worse. Hey, chef, get my buddy the usual.
It's bad
Sure.
luck to attack somebody in a ramen stand. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Makes a lot of sense.
Also, the ramen stand owner will kick the shit out of you.
Right? Ramen stand owners always end up being like total badasses.
Ours for 100 grand Mexico beef. That's 10 grand a gram. Yeah, I still can't beat the 80 yen daken from the batter of this old chef.
Add in a minute.
Makes you wonder what the hell money even is.
I said that earlier. I was like, God damn it, this game is making me want ramen. I want some takoyaki too. Is it soy sauce?
Manjima, there's no need to be a dick. I know you hate this guy, but come on.
Oh, it's sake.
Yeah, it's sake.
Oh, wait a minute.
It's warm sake, too.
Yeah.
Come on, Majima. It's rude not to.
Whoa! He said, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, he said, eat shit.
Warm, fancy.
Yep.
We are not homies.
Yeah, he's like, we are not friends, you douche nozzle.
He looks hurt.
Kinda is.
I feel like, oh. Okay. Guess I'll go fuck myself then.
Guess I'll go jump off a bridge then. Fine, I guess we can't be friends. Hey, come on. You haven't touched your drink since the first swig.
You're lucky
Sake
he did
don't
that much.
taste right sitting next to you. Has it already been 2 years since you and I met? All that time and you're still sulking.
Still being a little bitch.
Yeah, still being an old little whiny bitch. Makes me wonder why my oath brother even bothers keeping you alive. Doesn't make a damn bit of sense.
We aren't
Yakuza
even
willing to
work
fight their
buddies.
boss always gets served.
We aren't even acquaintances.
Yeah, we aren't even work acquaintances, you asshole. Expelled, disavowed. That's if they're lucky. Worst case, you disappear into some black slate for a nice, slow death. You got the whole blackest slate I know. You should be history.
Oh, what does he know about his black slate?
But you toughed out a year of torture like a champ, so Shimano let you out. Yeah, they tortured him every day for a year.
That's insane.
How you made it through that without Kraken's a mystery. But why he brought someone back from the hole is even more of a mystery. But
If I
getting
saw
let
you
out
on
and
fire
forgiveness
and my
aren't the
bladder
same.
was full of piss, I wouldn't even piss on you to take the fire out.
Yeah.
You're not even worth the piss in my body.
Yeah. For a guy known to talk straight or with his fists, Shimano sure picked a weird roundabout way to deal with you. Can't say I see his point with all this. Who knows? I'd like to ask him myself. Maybe we're overthinking it. Could be you just can't get enough of that fancy fucking that ass of yours.
Wow!
Damn. I mean, everybody wants to fuck Majima's ass.
Everyone wants a piece.
Yep. No reaction. Such a stick in the mud. Hey, there's something I always wanted to ask you.
I don't know if he'll answer.
So, why are you so desperate to get back in the Tojo clan? A rebellious shit like you choking down his punishment for this long blows my mind. Taiga Saijima, wasn't it? Sworn brother from back in your Tojo day, right? You said you'd do this for his sake. "18 count Saijima, I remember. It was huge at that time.
18 is huge.
Solo raid on the Uno Sagawa clan who had been making trouble for the Tojo clan. Hard to believe he took out 18 men and walked away breathing.
My model's all fucked up again. I gotta figure out, like, how does y'all setup work? Well, I guess that only works if you don't have a PNG model.
Yeah.
Where do people put their camera?
Now he's sitting in prison. Small wonder after 18 murders. All that's left for him is to wait for the axe to fall on his death sentence.
Damn.
Meanwhile, you're here working to get back into the Tojo clan for his sake. That's the part that throws me off. My bro ain't the type to die inside those walls. He's coming back. To kill me. Kill you? Nothing. Forget it. All in the past now. Anywho, I don't care what happens to me. I'll take any pain, any humiliation. I gotta get back to the Tojo clan.
I just don't know where to put the damn thing. Right now it's sitting on top of my monitor.
Alright, if you're really gonna spend your life waiting for your brother who can't possibly come back to you, clawing your way back to the Tojo clan so you can carve out a seat for him to come home to? Real tearjerker of a tale, isn't it? Don't see how it's any of your business.
Mind your business. Mind your business.
I'll tell you one thing. Different clans or not, my sworn brother Shimano has always done right by me. But you wouldn't see me throwing away my entire life so I could live for somebody else's sake, his or anyone else's.
Damn, I got the EBs. Got the EB sweepies. Yep.
You're a grown-ass man. Isn't it time you learn to cut yourself some slack and just live a little?
Yeah, just live a little, bro.
Yeah. Hey, you do know. I know you're not the type to hear anything I have to say, take it to heart, so I'll do you a favor and cut to the chase. Can you kill a human being?
A hit?
A hit?
Bruh. The
Yeah,
damn ramen
right.
man just like, go mind my own business.
You said it yourself. You'll do anything to get back in the game. Or has that changed? Yeah, Ramen Man don't want anything to do with this.
He's like, I don't hear
Why
shit.
do that when I can just make another 500 mil at the club and buy my way
Drink
back?
water, you
What? By
dehydrated
poaching nose of me
I
from
have
Odyssey?
to hydrate.
Funny thing about that, though.
Oh, very funny. Very funny indeed. My comically large-sized juice box is hilarious.
I sincerely hope that's not what is on the label is not actually in that, or that's got to be the grossest thing to drink.
It's certified fresh from pineapple sourced gentlemen's.
I'm sorry, from what?
If you drink enough or eat enough pineapple, it tastes sweet.
I know.
I've been bonked more this stream than like any other stream, I swear to God.
Yeah.
You don't want any death? Are you sure?
I'm good. I got my strawberry flavored water right here. I'm perfectly fine.
Strawberry flavored water sounds really good, actually.
Yeah.
They bully me here. When did
So
you get a
it's one
sub?
little phone call from me to
Oh.
Odyssey, and I can scuttle the whole deal.
Actually, I know when you got the sub. Death gave you that sub when I tortured him half to death on Thursday.
Yeah. I gifted 5 subs while I begged for Trix not to fuck me to try and to fuck me over with getting my best girl in Monster Prom. Even though I had been nothing but nice, she was considering fucking me over.
You got sub-bribed. I got sub-bribed, and you got a sub out of that bribe. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Just a healthy reminder that I've got your future in my hands, buddy.
Monster Prom is fun.
Yeah, it is.
Zoe is best girl.
Oh, absolutely.
The
Important for the both of
gauntlets
us.
are off next time, though, buddy.
Yeah, you know, that's fair.
It's on. It's on like
everybody deserves a turn with best girl. Makoto Makimura. Heard the name before? Who? Not ringing any bells? Runs a prostitution ring here in Sotenbori that's been blowing up lately. Prostitution? Yeah, snatches up young girls, college students, puts them to work earning hard money, and takes all the profits. Word is, any girl who tries to get out of the ring gets beat so bad they'll never have kids.
Jesus.
To serve as an example. Yeah. Lucky you, the mark's total scum. Easier to do the job, eh? Where do I find this Makimura guy? Find and out's part of the job. Makimura has his girls use telephone calls to put their johns. The gals at the bottom of this food chain are your best lead. So I hit up the telephone club crowd and try to find the trail back up to Makimura.
Telephone club? I'm not that old.
You call cute girls on telephones and you hook up for dates. And sometimes other stuff.
Other things.
Yeah. I'll leave the details up to you. Once the job's done, call this number.
Oh, is he really thinking about this?
Fine. Well, there's a bit more to it. Majima-chan, one last check. With murder, who and how doesn't matter. You kill one guy or you kill 18, a saint or a scumbag. Murder's murder. When you end a life, that's all of any of your hope for normalcy worth you as well. Whether you're out taking the streets or at home in your bed, you'll never escape the memory.
Shit.
Just a little advice from someone who's been doing the Yakuza thing a lot longer than you. If you can get by without killing, do it. Goes without saying, right? Are you really capable of offing a total stranger for your own personal agenda?
Is this a test?
Wait, you're nagging. Not like there's a future for Yakuza who can't pull the trigger. I'll do your damn job.
Shut the fuck up, bruh.
Alright. Thanks for the food, chef. Here's for his share, too. Keep drinking if you like. Oh, and the meatball's great here. Don't miss it. I'll leave you to it then.
Of meat in my mouth.
Koto Makimura.
Little Makimura murder. My titties are free. Free to titties.
They're finally freed.
They're finally free.
This is a good thing. My big chance to get back to the Yakuza
Why
life.
does he want that life so bad?
Because he wants to get back into the clan so he can make sure there's a place for his brother to come back to.
Oh.
I'm the trash man.
Damn
I come out, I throw trash all over the ring.
Well, I went from one containment.
And now you get put in the garbage.
Oh, the damn garbage has to be resized too.
Yeah.
Actually.
A little bigger.
Yeah, I was gonna put my lid up a little higher. Here we go. I mean, you trash man.
There we go.
Yeah, that's a lot better. I'm a trash man. Alright. Oh, the jet lag got to you.
Damn.
I'm sorry. That is like the worst part about flying. Is you can't... Your sleep schedule's all like fucked up for the next few days. Next week even sometimes. Baby, come here, Bubba's. You wanna come here? She's like, no, I wanna sit and stare out the window.
Yeah. Also, I'm not sure how much longer I have in me either.
Death, we're gonna call it at 11 for me anyway.
Yeah.
I'm the trash man.
Oh, wrong way.
We'll go.
We're going to Majima's apartment.
Go to his house. We'll finish up what's there, and then we'll save.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Death, you made me run in a circle.
You could have just run, like, straight across.
Ah! I am Oscar the Fae. I'm grumpy. I'm so friggin' grumpy, man.
Again, it's not my fault you don't know how to direction.
Liar. Don't lie to me.
Up the stairs to his sad, sad apartment.
Sad apartment days. Look at this sad ass apartment.
Yeah, everybody, look at this. Oh,
That's
God.
it. That's the apartment.
Jesus.
Bean, you don't want to come get some pets? You don't want any? You don't want any pets?
I'm ending Makoto Makimura. Step 1's finding the guy.
No, oh man, that's hard. That's hard. Being him, that's gonna be a close call. Challenge directionally. Stop.
Damn. Sugawara said to try hitting up the telephone clubs for girls in Makimura's Rin. Guess it's time to go make some calls.
Oh, we're gonna go call up some girls, have a good time.
Yeah, we're gonna take her out to a nice place.
Yeah, I mean, might as
eat
well.
A dinner. Hey,
Dinner?
Eat dinner at a nice place.
Dinner?
Lay out some rose petals in the hotel room, and then have crazy. I don't think I could say that.
I want some dinner. Something happened between here and chapter 2 where you're at. I mean, yeah. Especially since this is now chapter 3.
Yeah. There is a twist.
Oh?
Yeah, there is a twist coming up. Well,
Huh?
I mean, with the assassination and everything.
Do I talk?
Oh, that's the telephone. You got to go into the telephone center. There, the telephone.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So you go into there, and it's actually like a sort of shooter mini game.
Oh, wow.
Welcome. How much time would you like today?
Playing Yakuza 1, so you know at one point he becomes broken. Give me 2 hours. I feel like that's hard to believe considering he's been tortured for the past year.
Well, it's okay, Smaw. It's not that he becomes broken. He decides to stop giving a shit. He decides that he's going to, from that point on, live balls out all the time.
I'm telling you.
Because he's inspired by a bunch of crazy motherfuckers.
He should have helicopter dicked all those people that were watching him in his apartment. He should have done it.
Oh, the Majima now absolutely would have done that. The Majima we're currently seeing and the Majima from that we know from Yakuza 1 on, he absolutely would have fucking done that.
Meg will stare at me and give you a show.
Thank you, sir. Please head down the hall to room number 5.
Number 5.
There are complimentary tissues.
Ugh.
Said Makoto using college-age girls. Hope I get lucky and find one.
What do you mean by get lucky?
Hello?
Oh, hi. Hey there.
Hey, your voice is pretty damn cute. What are you up to?
Now? Just lying around.
I'm jealous. You got the day off?
The baby finally went down for his nap. Now that I got my hands free, I figured I'd call in. Whoa!
Housewife with a kid? That's off the mark. Guess it'd be too late to strike gold on. I guess it'd be too lucky to strike gold on the first call.
Also, like, why is she talking about her baby though? Like,
yeah,
that's not attractive to
girl.
anybody. Like, oh, come on.
This is gonna take a while.
$90 minutes later.
Jesus fucking
Oh my god,
Christ.
they do have the complimentary tissues.
They absolutely do. Hello?
Moshi moshi.
Yeah, hey there. Name's Goro. What's yours?
Akko.
Ako-chan. You seem kind of down.
Statistically,
Let's keep it
someone's
fun
into
there.
that. They are. I'm super wiped. I went to class for the first time in forever, but wound up bailing right away. If they didn't, it would get messy real quick.
Class, we got a college student?
Finally!
What? You a college girl then?
Yeah. What of it?
I still don't know if she's gotta keep digging here.
Gotta get digging! Alright, we gotta dig a hole.
Still Ako-chan. You call into telephone clubs often?
Yeah, I guess. I hate being bored, so I use this to find guys who want to go out and have fun.
Oh. So you meet up in person?
Sometimes.
How do you decide who to meet with?
I guess. When I'm hungry, mostly.
Fan of the free lunch, are you? So anybody works, long as they're footing the bill.
I never said that just anybody works. I just remembered, Gara-san, right?
Big stretch, you gotta say big stretch. Every time I do a big stretch.
Tattoos now.
Yeah, I've been kind of interested in them lately.
And if I said I did, what then?
Oh, really? And I got to descript, which means I gotta fix my model. If you really got one, would you tell me what it's of?
Now, why do you gotta be so curious about that?
I'm studying to be an artist, but nobody really shows their tattoos in public, you know? So when I gotta talk with someone with ink in the line, sometimes I meet up with them in person to get a look at it.
It's a Hanya.
Yokai! You're here late. Astaroth wanted to, no wait, it was Yokai. He wanted to see the big juice box.
Yeah.
My big juicies. Eh?
Yeah? I got a Hanya on my back.
Yeah, huh? 5
She's
Watch
interested.
Street,
She's
yay!
no ordinary student. Might have some criminal connections. Better make my move. Hey, Ako-chan. Now it's my turn. Haven't know anyone named Nicole Machiavelli.
Oh, sorry. I gotta go.
Hey, hold on.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm actually a freelance writer. I'm interested in maybe doing an article on Makimura-kun.
Gonna piss
So I
on the
think it'd be
moon and
real
no one
great
else
if I could talk to
stop
somebody
ya.
who knows him.
That's very brave of you. Hi, Tavish.
So, there isn't any way I could meet up with him for just a bit? Oh, and I pay you for your time. Alright, I'm making a friend first. Good Matsumura. What do you say? Promise? Cross my heart.
You've been high all day, buddy. Okay.
Okay.
Come meet me at the Iowa Bridge.
Iowa Bridge, got it.
Yay! What are you wearing, Gura-san?
Shades and a black jacket. Hair's long, back in a ponytail. I tend to stand out, so you won't have much trouble.
Alright.
See you at the Iowa
No!
Bridge in a few. I'll be waiting for you.
Tavish, you're not allowed to feel like shit. No, not allowed.
Yes, I got a girl connect. Now I just gotta hope she actually shows. Time to head there and find out, I guess.
Alright. Tavish, you're not allowed to have had a shitty day. Forbidden. Forbidden.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, God. You were sick.
Oh, God. I don't think you're gonna like what you see next, Trix.
What am I about to see? What are my eyeballs about to witness?
Just advance the conversation.
Sir, no. Go on. We don't want any.
You're the manager of the Grand, aren't you, Majima-san?
What is this fucking smile? Ew! Take it away! I don't like it. Where's the squirt bottle?
What? Yeah, that's me.
Spray him down.
You were enjoying yourself at Odyssey last night. I saw you there.
Ew!
Look at his name, Trix.
Walking around. What the fuck?
Surrounded by pretty girls all day and you still go to the cabaret on your time off? You're a real poon hound. How have you not been arrested, my dude?
Right, someone wear those handcuffs.
Yeah.
I was given some cursed handcuffs, so I want to use them on
Like,
this guy.
Look, where did I put those things? Jesus.
Ew.
Look, that was strictly business. Hey, no need to hide it, and now you're running for the telephone club first thing in the morning? You're a real hard up, aren't you? Oh, it makes my nipples hard just thinking about it.
Yeah.
I guess that's how it must look. But wait, what's your story? The fact that you've been everywhere I have been, you've got business with all these establishments too, don't it? Yeah, 3 rounds a day just isn't enough for me. So I wind up just going from spot to spot most days. Oh, I'm so titillated. What, from massage parlor to porn hut to who knows where? Ah, shit, 3 times a day? And that's not enough for you? How much jizz you got in there?
Enough to fill my jar.
After a video for you watch called Yakuza 0 is a very serious game.
No!
Oh.
No.
I got asked that a lot. My libido has a reputation to uphold, but I feel like you and me are in the same boat.
No.
Nowhere fucking
I'm gonna
close.
kick you out of the boat and drown you. No, get out. The Daddy Cummies origin story.
Yeah, this is where they come from, Trix. This is the source.
No.
Look at it.
Ew. Absolutely fucking not, bro. Ew.
Like hell we are. So you stopped me for a reason? Oh, just got the feeling we're birds of a feather, that's all. Thought we could trade tips.
Sir,
or maybe
you
touch
better
tips.
put your tip
Whichever
away.
you want.
Put it in your pants. I don't want to see it.
Praying you mean info.
I don't want to touch it. I don't want to see it. I don't even think about it. Keep your tip away from me.
Yeah. And where's the cutest girls in town who was good at what shop? That sort of thing. I'll pass. Thanks. I ain't that thirsty. Yeah, that's a real shame. Still, there's way more hotties around lately, huh? If some of them put out videos, I'd be there to watch for sure.
Oh God! Someone put this man in jail. I'm uncomfortable.
What kind of videos we talking here?
Right.
I've been to the private video booth spot, right? I'm talking about the softcore tiny screen there.
Ew. Softcore. Ew.
Ah. No, you can actually watch softcore porn in this game.
What?
Yeah, no. Well, okay, I shouldn't say porn. I should say, like, they're still clothed and they're, like, kind of in suggestive positions, in bikinis, like, playing around with, like, volleyballs and
What is
giant
this
spoons
game?
and shit. Yeah.
Gravre.
Gravre. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, Lord.
Every time I pass a cute girl on the street, I make a note to check whether she's put a video out.
That's nasty, man. No. Ooh, if he walked by me on the street, ew, and he's looking, no.
God damn, you're one certifiable perv.
Do not compliment him. Add in a minute.
Yeah. I knew you'd think the same thing if you saw some of these honeys. I'll let you know where to find some of my favorites. Go have a look. Maybe if I feel like it. Please, for the love of God, just put on
Go
pants.
away, please.
That's all we're asking.
I want this conversation to be over. Oh.
Pretty much always in one of the spots around town. Come find me if you ever want some fresh recommendations.
Why did you say it like that? I'm itchy. I'm uncomfortable, so I'm itchy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I hope I never see you again.
Yeah, no. Your man has so
Trust
many
me,
names.
Oh god, Iowa Pidge. Guess if I head there, she'll come find me. Fucking Christ.
Ah. I got shit to do, man.
Other way. Yeah, no. Okay, turn around.
Death, do
Oh, are
not
you
know
saving?
Yeah, look at what time
Okay.
it is.
Oh yeah, it is. You're right. Okay.
That man took up all our time. We can't even do the other part.
No.
Because
Okay.
he ruined it.
We have to leave off on that, I guess. You had nothing else.
Yeah, he ruined it. He ruined it. I didn't save? I'll double check.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I very possibly could have. Yes! Save complete.
Save complete. Yeah, there we go.
Alright. Double check it and everything. Alright. Alright. We do have an ad. Go just chatting. Oh, fuck. You eepy sweepies?
Yeah, I am. I really need to go to bed.
Sweepy babies need to be tucked in.
I've been streaming all day.
I know. I know. Go the fuck to sleep, bro. What are you doing tomorrow? What are you doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow, 10 a.m. is gonna be more Yakuza Infinite Wealth with Trashy.
Okay.
And I might do some more Phoenix Wright in the more Ace Attorney investigations in the evening. Maybe. Depends on how I feel.
Okay.
Because I'm a little tired.
Yeah, I imagine you are.
But I haven't actually, like, streamed all week.
Yeah, you've just been hanging out with the homies.
Yeah.
Hanging out with the homies. I'm not streaming tomorrow because I have a wedding I'm going to.
Yay.
Yay! One of my good friends is getting married. It's not a family thing this time, which is like partly good because like, yeah, I don't have to deal with family, but simultaneously, it's gonna be a lot of people I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like either of those things.
a lot of people talking to you who you don't want to talk to.
Right. Who are you people?
Yeah.
So, Dad, who should we raid? Whose turn is it?
I mean, I chose last time, so that's up to you.
Let's see.
Sipco's probably still doing their thing.
They are. I don't know what time they're ending, though. They do tend to end around the same time as me.
Let me check it, though.
Okay, you go check them out. Layshroom's also on. Kaji's on.
I don't think they're stopping anytime soon.
Did you get death stared down by a penguin? Oh, they're going to midnight? Oh, then yeah, we should raid into them because they're doing a big thing today.
Yeah.
It's Extra Life game day for them. They're doing crowd control games. All for charity. So I probably will, yeah, we should send you guys over there.
Wait, what did you mean, did I get death stared down by a penguin?
Because I pulled up their stream too, and it was just a penguin on the screen.
Oh.
There's just a penguin.
They're playing Crash Bandicoot. That's why.
Since they're doing like an event, we'll just keep it classic.
Yeah, they're doing a charity event.
Yeah.
Everybody, go donate if you can.
Yes.
Because it's for so kids don't have to go hungry.
Yes, it's a good cause. It really is.
Yeah, it's a really good cause because, you know, we have a fucked up system of capitalism that apparently says kids need to pay for their lunch at school.
Capitalism. Boo. Wait, we can't say that. That's against TOS. It's against
Yeah,
terms.
well, when Twitch stops being douchebags, they can stop me. Otherwise, they can fucking beat my ass.
God. You know what? Like, they'll give you a warning first. So I'm just, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah.
If they come down hard on us, then maybe I'll watch my P's and Q's. But otherwise, I don't care. I don't care.
It's honestly only if someone reports us.
Right. So.
And I don't
it's all
think
good right
anyone
now.
here is going to report us for saying fuck capitalism.
I hope not. I really hope not. But anyway, guys, it's been really wonderful hanging out with you all tonight. We made some progress in the story. We're actually on chapter 4. That's really nice.
Oh no, we're not even a fourth of the way through this.
Oh,
game.
I know. It's a long game, but I'm just saying we finally made it to chapter 4. We were doing a lot of side stuff for a while there.
I'd say we're maybe about a ninth.
Oh, wonderful. It's just the game that keeps on giving.
Yep.
But yeah,
Giving and giving and giving and giving and giving.
my next stream is gonna be Tuesday. We're gonna finish up Silent Hill. And we'll go from there. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to finally beat it. But yeah, you guys have a good night. Take care of yourselves. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. All the good stuff. And I will see you on Tuesday, okay? Bye.
Bye, everyone.